Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is going to be my first ever video for the channel, and here we have Disney Speedstorm. If you already know or you don't know, this is a kart racing game. It's in the brand or the esque of Mario Kart, but a little bit more crazier and a lot more cheese. So let's get into the focus of today's video, and we're going to be running the Gauntlet with Triton in ranked multiplayer. So my goal for this video today is to get Triton as far as I can up the ranked multiplayer ladder. Obviously, I'm gonna run into a lot of races with cheese, and that might be a deciding factor if I end the video early or if I want to push through and try to reach my goal, which is MPR 28. Right now, as you can see, we're sitting at MPR 2 because I've already been in here just once to get a couple of shards from Triton so he can start up to start 3. Now, I want to get him enough shards so we can get his racer parts. Now I said MPR 28 because we can still get 6 more Triton shards. However, I believe it's MPR 30 where we get more mirrors so we can level up Triton. But it all depends how I feel, whether I want to sacrifice my sanity, so to speak, just to raise Triton up to the required level to get more racer parts. I mean, by all means, we could stop at MPR 28. However, I don't know what the competition is like just yet, so I'm taking a more optimistic approach. Let's start, shall we? Like I said, if you're new to the game or you're just coming to the community, if you would like, let me know in the comment section below, and I can definitely make some guides on how to start up in this game, as well as guides on tuning your game in the sense of drift lines, what are drift lines, how to be a better drifter, when's the most optimal time to use certain skills, things like that, in that nature. But here we have our first race, and half the lobby is bots. So the thing about that is, don't be alarmed, but early in the game, when you do ranked, because a lot of people have ran through the multiplayer ladder, you sometimes will have a half empty lobby. So what Gameloft has done is, instead of you playing or racing in a race with just 4 racers, you included, they filled out the lobby with bots to make it more interesting, a bit more exciting, give you more of a challenge. I don't mind it in the earlier levels because, as you'll see later on in this video, you don't see that anymore. Once you get up into, I want to say, middle of the Silver League, just into the Gold League, you don't run into bot lobbies anymore. Maybe in the higher levels of ranked multiplayer, but that's only because there's only so many races that are that high, and it's almost like you run into the same band or group of racers at that MPR level. So nothing to worry about, and we'll take this first win convincingly. Obviously wasn't much competition, but that is ranked multiplayer for you. When you first start off, sometimes you don't run into stiff competition. However, once you enter that Gold League, that's when things start heating up. So just bear with me. We don't have too long until we get there. It's just MPR 11, and we're 8 ranks away. Get into this second race here. I'm not sure if we have any bots in this race, but what it looks like, we don't, but I could be wrong. Don't want to give you guys any false hope. And we're off to a great start, a commanding lead at that. Might be another easy race. No one to really give us much of a challenge, but that's alright. I'm more banking on once we touch Gold League, because like I said, this game could be cheesy at times, and a lot of players like to use meta erasers. Obviously people have their favorites, so I won't knock them for it, but come on. Everyone's favorite racer is the same racer. It comes to a point where, you know, it's not based on favorite racer. It's based on who I can win with, because sometimes a lot of people play the cheesy characters or meta characters because that's all they have. And when I mean that's all they have, they don't have enough skill to pull them through something like ranked multiplayer. So they'll go out there and use whatever character is easy for them. So it gives them a sense of, oh, I can hang with the best racers in the game, but it's not always the case. You bring those same racers to regulated multiplayer where everyone's on a pretty equal footing, and you have them race with any kind of racer apart from meta racers, and usually I find that these are the same people that don't do as well. But that's fine. With every game, everyone has a different approach to how they play it, whether they're playing it casually, competitively, or in between. Everyone has a different skill that they bring to a game. I obviously wouldn't say I'm the best racer, but I like to say I'm in the group of competitive racers. I like to have fun with it, obviously. But my only gripe is, nowadays you seem to find a race with a whole bunch of meta racers, and sometimes it could be a very grueling experience. A challenging time, because instead of you enjoying having stiff competition, you're over there dreading a race because everyone's using the same cheap moves to get ahead. At that point, it's not that fun, but wait, what can you do? These are issues that others in the community have spoken out on to the devs at Gameloft to maybe make some changes, some fixes, but nothing has really made a difference in that regard. Obviously, there were some meta characters that were just broken, and Gameloft actually went out of their way to fix. Racers like Mike Wazowski, where his ability was just enough said. And then you had racers like Stitch, where it's just like almost unstoppable in the race. Just the way he can affect so many opponents, and he was untouchable. So they went in there and actually they nerfed him as well, but not to the point where he's not viable for a race. But in terms of a racer like Mike, he's almost unrecognizable from when I first got in here in the free-to-play season 4. They obviously buffed a couple of other racers. Got some lag there. Odd. Sometimes this game will, out of the blue, crash on you, and it's just like, oh my gosh. But luckily, we didn't crash during our race. That would have sucked. Obviously, it's gonna be a bit easier for me in the earlier stages of ranked multiplayer because my Triton is already 3 stars, and most people in ranked multiplayer, for the most part, are racing with characters that they either just unlocked or a lower star level than me. You usually don't find 3-star racers till you get to the Gold League, maybe even the Silver League. And here we go, full lobby, and everyone might be in relative levels to one another. Not sure about skill, because you know everyone has a different skill level, but this should be interesting. I think the Ursula might give me the most trouble this race, but we'll see. He is a seasoned racer, and normally when you run into a ranked multiplayer lobby with a seasoned racer, more times than none, they are higher ranked. Normally around 2-star, 3-star, maybe even 4-star early on in the game. So we'll see. I have a slight lead, but we're gonna build on that. Defense sometimes is your best offense in this game, especially with a brawler. If you can put up a lot of shields to protect yourself, or even a cloak, normally you can bring offense when someone is around the vicinity, and you can ram them to create boost, create separation, distance, or your offensive based skills when you unlock them. Usually these are your character unique skills. So like for King Triton, he has 2 abilities. Normal activation ability is where he'll stun someone in front of him with his Triton, but he has to be you have to be looking at them or locked onto them in a sense where it could be effective, and it sometimes could be hard to pull off. But his other ability, his charge skill, is that he'll send a huge tide behind him to stun anyone along the racetrack, which, as you just seen, I've just stunned the Beast. And it's very helpful in creating distance and keeping your lead when you're ahead. Obviously, you can use it when you don't have a lead, when you're somewhat in the middle of the pack and you want to catch up to whoever might be in the top standing, because like I said, you do get a beast for you do get a boost for every person or every racer you stun along the way. And here we get our next win, and we should be moving into the Silver League from here. Yep. We do have a few Shangs in this race, so it should be interesting. Defenders are thought to be the best racing class in this game, but I beg to differ. I race with a lot of Tricksters, and I believe the Trickster class is the best in the game, but to each their own, obviously. You know, the vast majority of races in this game say it's Defenders. I won't knock them for it, but in my eyes, I believe it is the Tricksters, especially with the new buff where you can just ram other racers and get normal level 1 activation skills, or normal skills at level 1 that you could use. Sometimes you get a nice boost or a nice rush skill depending on the racer you have, because every racer has different skills that they can use or bring to a race. Not always the same, but they do use a similar set of skills. We do have a nice and commanding lead, but like I said, because our Triton here is 3 stars, so beginning for us climbing the ladder, running the gauntlet will be a lot easier for us as opposed to who we're up against. When I'm in a position like this, I like to use these races as practice for practicing drift lines, things in that nature. Using different routes to create maybe a different pool of shortcuts I could use in other races. But here we'll take another win. Okay, this looks to be an interesting race based on everyone's MPR rank. Everyone seems to be in the early to mid-teens, which makes me think that we have a lot of characters who are around 2-star, maybe even 3-star. So this race should be a lot more challenging. My guess is that we have Prince Eric at least a 3-star. I could be wrong though. But in terms of a challenge this race, I am looking at Prince Eric. And he is just behind me, so we'll see here. We have a nice commanding lead. And it's actually Bo Peep who might give us the most trouble here, but I think it's too late. She was fighting the Eric the entire first lap, and she's just now gotten to me. But problem is, we're at the end of this race, and I have a pretty sizable lead on her, so I don't think she'll catch me. And once again, victory is ours. If any of you guys in the comment section, or even fans of mine, subscribers, like to race against me, we could do maybe a stream, or I'll just pre-record our races in a private match and post them for content, things like that. I was thinking about starting a Discord to get everyone who watches my videos in a large community where we could all game with each other. But obviously, sorry, just a bit distracted. But obviously, when I'm on, we can all race together, game together, different games, because this is not just a Disney-oriented or Disney Speedstorm racing channel, but it is a variety gaming channel where I do play a lot of other games. So of course, if we have the same games and we can play them together, I'd love to hop in a couple matches with you guys and have some fun. Have some discussions in Discord, update you guys on what I'm doing or which new videos I have coming for you guys in the pipeline. But after that first, maybe slightly competitive lap, we now have a commanding lead once again, like the other races, and I'm sitting comfortably in first, so I think this race is all but done. I do stun quite a few people with that tidal wave. More of a race about who's going to come into second place, because I have secured the first place spot or the top spot. Honestly, from this season, I want to say King Triton is my favorite racer. This race, I'm banking on someone really bringing a challenge to me. If that's Eric, so be it. He is a bit cheesy in terms of racer, but it is what it is. It doesn't stop me. Ooh, that one sucks. Got a chain stun right there. Giving me a sizable lead on my opponents. I did not mean to send that forward, but it's okay, because I do get one right back and I can send it backwards. For me, those are like Hail Marys. If they hit someone, they do. It doesn't really make a difference because I'm so far ahead with this lead. Yeah, on this map, or this track, so to speak, as you saw, I had two options to go left or right. Your best bet is to always go with the right side because it is shorter. and it's more of a shortcut than going to the left side, because the left side is actually a lot longer in terms of meeting back up in the middle of the track. So you're better off going right, especially in time trials for different new races that you can unlock, or just maybe even parts or resources you can get for the game. Got a little stun there. Everyone in the back, here you go. That's for you. And we're now creating a sizable lead once again. And we did get someone with that bomb, which is nice. Always where I do stun someone with a bomb, so it's nice to see. They do have a purpose for me. I know there's some people who are really skilled with using a bomb skill ability. That's just not me. Out of any skill, that's probably the only skill I suck at using in this game. But with practice comes near perfection. That's what I like to say. That is my motto. So yeah, you did hear that from me first. And we do have a sizable and commanding lead, so I do believe this race is all but over now. But I take this time to create practice for myself, using different lines to drift, hugging corners, working on my drift. One pro tip I could tell you guys to use is when you're drifting and you know you're getting close to a wall and it could stop your boost that you might have currently, or your momentum in a race, because losing momentum does hurt. It does cost you sometimes, especially using a brawler who has lower acceleration than every other class. Your best bet is to cancel the drift, like right there. I went into that pillar on purpose just to show you, sometimes it isn't the best to hold the drift just to get the boost. Sometimes you might want to cancel to keep your momentum and to keep you on your race line or your drift line for the next turn or corner, or the next drift you can use to obtain boost. Because whether you get the boost at the end of the drift boost or not, you're still raising your boost meter.
Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you at the next one.